Hello, good to see you all virtually for an assembly this week. So next week is Safer Internet Day. So this week we're going to be doing some work on eSafety. And it'll be different to the sessions I would have run with you in school and you'd done in your ICT lessons. We're not going to be focusing on your settings, not going to be focusing on the content that you'll be posting. If you need those guides or advice, if you go to the school website, search eSafety, they will come up and you can see them all there for you. They regularly posted on a Friday as well, and the guides to all kinds of software and apps that you might be using. And if you need any help with any safety issues, please contact either me directly or your ICT teachers and we can help you. Or if there's bigger burning issues regarding anything e-safety, on the front of the website you've got the See Op button and you click on that and you can report any issues directly to them. So we're going to go through some slides today where we're going to look and consider how and where you pick up all your information from and how trustworthy it is. It's kind of been quite a hot topic of recent years with regard to the American elections, etc., and how things have been controlled. You hide all that, and with a bit of luck, you can now see the slides. Yeah, and so how do you know it's an internet that we can trust? The unbelievable internet, you know, look at that both ways, really, can't you? It's unbelievable how amazing it is, and it's unbelievable how easy it is to be fooled. So you have to have the analytical skills to understand what you are feeding and is it trustworthy, and to keep looking and reading on. So let's have a look at some of those points for you there. Linked to this assembly, there'll be some polls and questions on our social media feeds. Always a little bit ironic that I ask you to go onto the social media feeds when we're talking e-safety and kind of the addiction and where trustworthiness comes from. But we just want to get some feedback from you on some of the questions that we're going to pose today. So here we go. Which one of these would you say was the most used place you go to get your information from? Is it the internet, the TV, newspapers, or the radio? Now, if you are around others in your household, depending on which generation they're in, there's probably a split or difference. But I'm going to second a guess that nearly all of you get everything you know from the internet. Maybe a TV if it's running in your room as well, or the radio if it's on in the kitchen while you're downstairs grabbing some food. But you know, that's where you're probably getting all your information from. I'm going to say is the internet, and that's from your phones. Which of those would you say, however, is the most accurate? Is it the internet? Is it TV, newspaper, radio? Well, I'm going to probably guess again and say the internet is the least accurate of all the places to get your information from. Not everything on there is fake, is false, but actually you have a good chance of stumbling across something that cannot be true. So you have to be aware of that, and you probably are aware of that already. You know, on the other hand, if you are watching a mainstream news TV or listening to it on the radio, you've probably got a better chance of being more accurate. Whether or not it's a bias agenda is different. You know, with the newspapers, etc., depends on who may own them. As with the radio stations and TV stations, they will have an agenda. But you know, you have to be aware of all these factors when you're getting your information. Do we need to create a new way to get information? I don't know if you do, but you do have to have that understanding of where it's coming from and how that could be being controlled, because your news feeds will be fed to you the same way your adverts are, and more on that later on. So what are the benefits of taking your information purely online? You know, have a moment, discuss that, have a think. Some of them are here then. So there's lots of it. There's everything you want to know, whether that is just a quick Google, a quick Yahoo, a quick search, there is an answer out there. Whether someone's made a web page that you're going to that is accurate is again questionable. The speed and the convenience, we've all got our phones, we can click, 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 and you've got an answer straight away. You have a choice of your kind of news feeds. Once upon a time, it was 5 or 6 newspapers, 4 TV channels, and that's the only places you could go to get your information from. Now you've got the whole web to choose from. We're all part of it. You can be part of the news. You can put your opinion on it. You can put them out there, which does bring about equality for everyone to be heard and to share. You think about the Black Lives Matters movement, that was driven from the ground up with people taking photos, posting it, hashtagging it, linking it together, and kind of getting that collection around the world. 35% of you then in your age group think the news that you get is trustworthy on social media feeds, which already shows that 65% of you know it's not completely trustworthy, which is a good thing that you are aware and you are questioning what is being fed towards you. The question is now, how does that make you feel that you can't trust all the information you see online? Good quality news, well, it's about actually making that difference and having an informed choice about what you can do. If you have all the information coming your way, you can make your mind up on the key topics, what's going on with COVID, what was going on with Brexit, what will happen in the elections, what's going on with the transfer news. You have all the facts, and then you can make a decision yourself rather than it being controlled what you think. What kind of future do you want? Do you want to be able to have that, or are you quite happily just being farmed the information that will come as you scroll down and scroll down and scroll down on that infinite scroll of your social media feeds? Link to that then. So what do you know about influencers? What do they do? And can you think of any examples of them? Have you got influencers right now on your social media feeds that you aren't aware of? So an influencer then is to have an effect on the way that someone behaves or thinks, especially by giving them an example to follow. An influencer, someone who recommends or promotes items or services on social medias to their followers, usually in the millions. And this is the big area, the big thing that lots of you would want to be an influencer, to have that promotion, to have the money that comes from the posts and the kind of endorsements of products. So they get paid to do it. They get free products to increase their followers by attracting people they like with that product. There's that kind of ego stroke when they have the more followers and it's liked. It can be argued that they care more about their followers and think what they would be interested in their products. So they are looking to get the likes. The more followers they get, the more influence they have, the bigger the brand they can target and therefore make more money. And to enhance their personal brand, they have all the latest popular stuff, so they appear on trend. The backgrounds appear on trend. Everything they look at is controlled. So here's your typical kind of influencer post. And if we kind of to try and highlight, if I can get the pointer working, you can start to see here what's going on. So if that were at the top there, you'd have that this has actually been paid for. And that should be one of the first things you pick off for. They are wanting you to get part of that, to like, to feed it. They want you to share it. And within here, it's all about how it is improving everything for you. The product, the picture won't have been a straight off one-off picture. It's probably been enhanced using some kind of Photoshop technology, filters, to make it look like it's also natural and how happy they are with the product. You have to be aware what's going on with this. Interestingly, once you start looking at these products, they will start appearing elsewhere in your streams, and that can happen with any kind of search, depending on the privacy settings that you probably didn't read, accepted, and now stored somewhere in the back end of your phone. So can we trust all influencers more than traditional advertising methods, e.g. the TV adverts? You'll have to make your mind up on that. That will come down to how much you relate to the influencer and who is doing it. The TV adverts are no different. The radio ads are no different. They bring on people that you like, that you kind of connect with to try and sell their product. That is the kind of bond that goes on with it. So it's not anything new that's going on, but you just need to be aware that's been farmed that way. Can you trust some of the influencers more than others? I would argue you probably can do, but that would all depend on who and what you are following, and the more that feeds into it, the more you watch of a certain type of YouTube video, that will link and promote to your other accounts, and you'll be taken down that path. The more you click on a post, the more you're likely to see other influencers. That's how they make their money. From your mind, from you seeing the adverts, and then you being linked to the promotions that they're doing. And how do you feel about all the influencers overall? Would you want to be one, and why? I've joked before, at school, sometimes you would quite happily take having 1 million followers on your Instagram account, even if it meant you got those followers for something that was embarrassing or unkind, you would take that. But to have that many people on your account, you know, again, I'll leave you to discuss that and think about that more at home. So you're on the internet, you're browsing for a particular topic, you're thinking of buying some nice trainers there, and you know, before you know it, when you're scrolling through your feed later on, it would appear in there. That's exactly the same product you were searching for. You might even had that when you've been in a phone in a car, sorry, discussing something, and you'll go through your feed and go, how can it be there? We had that here myself, discussing it with my son, Percy pigs towards Christmas. Yeah, it's not something I search for or discuss very often, but then when I go into my social media feed, there's these adverts for Percy pigs. The only way that could have done was because actually the microphone settings I had for one of my social medias were listening to the accounts, and it pops the advert straight into the middle of it. Whether I hang around on it or not, the advert is like there in my feed. If I click on it, they get paid. If I just see it, they still get paid. That's how they make their money from that. You know, and I'm pretty sure that would have happened to you in your families at home as well. This is called targeted advertising. This is how they make the money. When you look at the top 10 richest kind of people in the world, you look where they actually get their income from for their firms, their IT firms, lots of them run. This is what it's about. You know, if you're shopping for a certain item, things will keep appearing. They link across the platforms to make sure that they get the purchase, and then part of that sale comes down to you. As you visit different sites and access various content online, they will be recording it in your cookies. A profile of you begins to come together. So the more you click, the more you search, it knows what's going on. Advertisers then target you based on your profile of your activity. It will start to look at who you're linked to. Increase of chance you click on the advert, earning the advertisers, the more money they can make. They don't want to show adverts that you're not interested in. There's no point showing me nice kind of, I don't know, holidays at the moment because I can't go on it. But they will send me lots of things that I can click on and do through Amazon, etc. So that you know the type of people you are and the adverts that come from it, and they want you to click on that. So how else do you think you're targeted online? What other information do you think, maybe just by what you're sharing, what you're watching, and what you're liking, your information you're giving away? Your gender, they will know what your gender is, what that is recorded in your accounts, and so therefore they can control the targeted adverts. Your age, your real age will become apparent based on what you're clicking, even if you might have set up fake ages on your accounts. They will know the things you're watching. They will control that from your feeds, from the music you listen to gives it away. Your Spotify accounts, no matter what age you put on it, will have very different music to the, you know, a 24-year-old's music, which have very different to a 44-year-old's, or very different to a 64-year-old's. From that way, they can identify what's going on. Same with the music you watch on YouTube. That will give your age away, even if you try and put fake ages on it. Your sexuality, where you like, what you like online, they will see that from that post and they record a profile of it. Your ethnicity, they will pick that up as well and identify that and target you on it. Your religion, your location. How do you feel about companies knowing all this information? You have probably given it away via the privacy settings that are there. You know, every website in the world has a privacy notification at the bottom. You don't ever read them. They pop up all the time when you log on at school. You don't read it, your user agreements. You know, you do need to take time to do that, and maybe once in a while kind of go through your phone, go through your devices, and kind of refuse the accounts that have kind of got access to everything on you, which will kind of disconnect this information being shared and sold on about you. So if you were to think of a friend, you know, could you draw a stick person, sorry, of your friend, and actually could you list off 8-9 things about them, and from that, you know, would you be able to have their likes, the dislikes, the hobbies, the favorite foods, favorite music, favorite brands, favorite social media users or gamers, anything else? Could you pick that off on someone that you know, maybe give them a call and just play this game? Could you draw that? You know, and would that be interesting to compare that to what is instantly being pulled off all your accounts by the algorithms and stored and searched and ready to promote as soon as you come back online into these accounts? You know, you could do that for your friends, but online at the moment, this information is being collected all the time for us to use, for them to use on you. take a chance to do that, have a go, and maybe you could design an advert to go with them. You know, would be interesting, wouldn't it? What advert would grab the attention of your mum, your dad, your brother, your sisters, your nan? How do they get them on board based on that information that you've kind of just come up with that they like, what they're into? And what products would that naturally then promote for them to push and to sell? So, would you rather advertisers know nothing about you, you turn off all your settings, you don't share anything, so you get untargeted adverts that don't always interest you? So you'll be scrolling, and actually, you know, nothing on those adverts is relevant to you. Or would you rather you gave away a little bit of yourself, and actually those companies could target the adverts at you, so you might look at it and go, I'm actually into that, I quite fancy having that, and actually make that purchase or ask someone to purchase it for you. But you're going to have to give some of yourself away for that. And if you think back to what those kind of 8-9 things were that we're talking about, you know, you might not want to share all that information. You certainly wouldn't want to share all that information with me if I was just asking you, but that is leaking the whole time from your accounts online. And would you finally pay money to have no adverts at all? Would that be something that you would be kind of up for, to have that gap on the feeds? And you know, it's what you do, isn't it? You know, with your Spotify, with your YouTube Premium, your Amazon Music, you can just play that, pay the money, and you don't have the adverts come up at all, and you have the service. You know, pros and cons to all of those, but you have to be aware, a bit like we were saying earlier, what you can trust of that information going out. So steps you can do then, just before we finish, is unfollow any unreliable accounts. You know, that's not just your friends here, that's maybe other people that you've picked up that you thought were interesting at the time. Just remove them from your streams, and don't have them as people that you're following. Share good quality information. We can all do that. You know, if you're reposting stuff that you see in news events, people like to do that. If you're first to hear something, make sure it's reliable before you share it. Talk to your friends and family about what's being shared and how they feel about these settings, and actually that will help you understand what's going on with it and help you understand what they might see. You know, if people are saying they're constantly seeing feeds they don't like, information in their feeds they don't like, then actually it might be because they're following some people and that's influencing what's going on. Don't look at any content that comes up that you don't like looking at particularly, and you can report that. You can report that to whatever the platform is, and it will be removed from your feed. And the more you report that you don't like something, or the topics that come up, the less it will come up in your feeds, and it will end up kind of using the information it has on you to kind of show you what you like. If you need to, like I said at the beginning, seek out support from the school, or click on the click see up button, or any of the platforms that you use. You can report, and they all have areas to support you as young adults to kind of control your accounts. And look at the guides that we have on the school website to help with that. Last couple of things then. You'll notice in your Google Classroom that you had a lot of moats being left recently. At the bottom of those moats, after you've looked at all, you've got a couple of icons. Next time you see a moat in your Google Classroom feedback, just click on one of those, and it just gives us some feedback to what the feedback is that we've given to you. So have a look out for those when you're listening to the moats at home. And as I say, next Tuesday will be Safer Internet Day on the 9th of February, and we look forward to sharing more with you then. Okay, have a good day. Bye.